expenditure of the authority for the year in respect of the repair, maintenance, supervision and management of such property. So I'm not quite sure how the propaganda sheet going out to every single household falls into that category. But we had an interesting interpretation from Councillor Toll at the Cabinet as to why tenants should pay for a magazine going to other households. She said, many owner-occupiers and privately rented residents have relatives in council housing and therefore have an interest. Well, Madam Chairman, on that basis one can apply the same argument to many other services, such as community safety team, because those using the service may have friends or family who are tenants and therefore have an interest. So having expressed our concerns about this item, it would be a little difficult not to do anything about it. So we have removed that extra cost from the HRA and the pockets of the tenants, and then removed the cost of printing and delivery from the general fund. Harlow Life would become an e-magazine, available on the web and by email subscription, just like the Harlow Star. Harlow Home would then be posted to tenants with their quarterly rent statements, and also available on the web and by email subscription. There are so many new ways for us to talk to tenants, and we must make sure that we use ways that are convenient to them. Councillor Wilkinson will remember those words from autumn 2006, when he was portfolio holder for housing. It's a pity we've had to wait 8 years for it to happen. Madam Chairman, the other part of our amendment tonight, related to the HRA, concerns two of the medium-term objectives of the housing business plan, addressing state issues and evaluate the use of and need for bin storage in flat blocks. Balances of the HRA are forecast to exceed the minimum balance by some £1.5 million by the end of 14-15. Using a tiny amount of that surplus is not additional expenditure, merely bringing forward a year or two. As members will be aware, the state issues of the condition of bin areas regularly arise on ward walkabouts. Bids are worked up and referred to the Residents' Initiatives Programme and agreed by the Housing Finance Panel. However, this pot is only around £55,000 a year and is regularly oversubscribed. So tonight we propose a doubling of that sum in order to catch up with outstanding projects and for it to be reviewed by the panel later in the year when new projects emerge. In addition, we would engage 2 new apprentices, one to help manage the Residents' Initiative budget and begin a survey of the estates, and the other would work with the Housing Property Services to work on the flat blocks and bin stores and start resident surveys, which will, as members opposite, meet a number of their priorities, such as minimising trips and slips, create peaceful neighbourhoods, and improve tenant and leasehold satisfaction, and create more apprentices. Another priority. How many buttons do you want to press?
In relation to Harlow Times, I'm absolutely amazed that you're saying it's actually a propaganda paper, because actually, if you look at it, what's the front page of that? Now, is that propaganda, or is that actually supporting the Playhouse to enable more people to come and celebrate and enjoy the activities of that particular area? There is absolutely clear evidence from a marketing point of view that this has actually had a direct impact on the sales of tickets for that particular area. So that isn't political propaganda. That is actually very simple, very straightforward. And you can go look at the other pages, the new M11 Junction 7A. We've had a question tonight. Why shouldn't we have an opportunity for all people to engage in this particular issue? Now, your solution is, that's fine, we can do it by E. But actually, what you've got to do as Conservatives is remember the totality of the community, not just the ones that fortunately have a computer and actually how to use the computer. And actually, if you look at the age profile of our community, most people actually recognise and actually enjoy that. So I totally agree, and you know, Simon, and listen, Simon, we are revamping this, you know this, and we are dedicating most of this to actually tenants. But about environmental issues, around community issues, why not? And at Cabinet you also heard that it doesn't cost us any more money to run off X amount of thousands compared to other thousands. So this is a good value, and all the research has said it's right and proper. In relation to 21 roads, we will have to reject it because actually we're in advanced discussions with someone who may well be wanting to pay normal business rates for 21 rows. So actually that is the reason why we wouldn't be able to support this. I'm completely and utterly appalled at your position that you want to raise car parking by 25 pence. We were criticised, we were lambasted. Your regeneration person was on the radio with me 6 or 8 months ago criticising us that we weren't listening to local people. But local people, local businesses said, actually we don't want these rises. So for you to be hypocritical now and saying that you want a 25p increase in a car park is outrageous. And the people who actually use that car park are not hospital, it's actually visitors to Addison House or the people who are actually using the local shops immediately below Witcham. So it's absolutely clear that as a Conservative administration, you do not care about small businesses. I totally agree, and I did say that in the beginning, in relation to all our partnerships, I do think we do need to be looking more closely at what we do and why we're doing it, and certainly the issue about the energy reserves I think needs to be continuously looked at, and if we can pull back that throughout any particular time, so may it will be. So I will conclude that unfortunately, but surprisingly, the administration will not be supporting your amendments, but I am grateful that you have put the amendments, and whilst we are disagreeing with you, I do think we can work together in an effective and efficient way, especially in relation to the apprenticeship. So let's work with the issues that we can work with, and then unfortunately we'll be voting down your amendment. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.